Hey everybody, we're back for more Foley Fables. Today we are continuing the story of this bed we made, potentially finishing it today. So to catch you up, we are playing Sophie Roy, a maid at the Clarendon Hotel in Montreal in 1958. We have discovered one of the clients of one of the guests of the hotel has been taking our photograph, and they turned one of our bathrooms into a makeshift dark room, and we're developing the photographs, and we discovered that they had been taking photos of us snooping on other guests, which obviously doesn't look good for us. We did try to figure out who they were, and that led us down a bit of a conspiracy thing where this particular guest seemed to have been a private detective of some kind, or a stalker, just in general, and they were also stalking another couple who were staying at the hotel. Cruises. We then checked in on them to see if they were somehow related to us, or why this Mr. Morgan, or Mr. Spade, whatever his real name is, was stalking us. It might turn out that we were just incidental. It's possible that he was stalking the objects we were snooping on rather than us specifically. I don't know. That hasn't really come up yet. The stalking of us has kind of gone to the side now, as we're kind of more interested in why Mr. Morgan was stalking the Cruises. The wife, Marcella Cruz, seems to be having some kind of clandestine affair with a different guest. It seems that they arranged to meet here unbeknownst to her husband. Her husband is also here, so we're not sure if it is a romantic engagement or some kind of long lost friends kind of thing, but they're also keeping it on the down low. They're keeping it fairly covert, so clearly there's something they don't want other people to know, possibly the husband. It's also not clear if Marcella Cruz is aware of the stalker either. She seems to have also been subjected to some kind of blackmail situation. That money was emptied out of her account, and her private information has been compromised as well. So yeah, there's some shenanigans going on. In the intervening time, we've had some affairs going on, not affairs, but gossip in the hotel itself. Wendy, the waitress of the restaurant, a waitress in the restaurant, and Jacques, I think is a bellboy, were engaged to be married, but Laura, who is the governess or head maid of the hotel, spreading rumors, suggestions that Wendy is a little too flirtatious with restaurant guests, and this has gotten back to Jacques, and Jacques has let that get into his head, and maybe he's thinking that Wendy is not the woman for him anymore, and that's kind of led to a falling out there. Wendy took out her frustrations on Laura, calling or writing "hypocrite bitch" on her office door. In a fit of, I don't know, anger, frustration, rage, what have you, we wiped it away. Hopefully means Wendy won't get fired. She'll keep her job here at least. She has lost fiance, and it is the 50s, 60s. Marriage is kind of a big deal around now, particularly for a woman's future financial stability, because keeping a job, pregnancy, and all of that business, it's shit around now, basically. So, probably best she keep her job. Eugene, the janitor, has a similar situation. There is a hospital set to be set up near the hotel. He had hoped that the hotel manager, would advocate for the hospital to be built here rather than against it, because his daughter could be transferred to it, and he would be able to keep, closer. He'd just be at his workplace. It'd be much easier for him. But the manager was not obliging. He has instead decided to advocate against it being built there. Eugene, again, in a peak of frustration with his employer, wedged the window open in the manager's office. There's currently a snowstorm going on, so it's extremely cold in there. We again undid that just so, Eugene, you're probably going to need at least some money, because you do have to care for your daughter, and well, I mean, it's Canada, right? They have socialized medicine. It shouldn't be a question of money, but still, it's probably best you have a job in this situation. I don't know what it was like in the 50s. Did they have their socialized medicine then? Probably, but I don't know. It is French, you know. They are they're sticklers for that kind of thing. Anyway, we come back to the story now. We have discovered a lockbox in Miss Beauchamp, I think her name is the person who Marcella Cruz was going to meet. We've discovered a lockbox in there that requires two keys, two identical keys that they need to be opened at the same time. We have one of those keys. The other key is around the neck of Marcella Cruz, so it is unlikely we'll be getting that anytime soon. So if we're going to continue our snoopery, we need a way to duplicate the key. And Beth, who is here on the center of the screen, actually shrink so you guys can see that better. Beth, who is in the center of the screen, the receptionist, who is our confidant currently. She thinks she has a way to fix it. So we are getting the goods together. We have the key itself. We have some plaster. And we're going to have to get some wax. I'm pretty sure we're making an impression of the key, and then we'll figure out a way to mold it. We'll probably make a plaster cast of it and try to use that to unlock. I don't think it's going to have a tremendous amount of structural integrity, so we'll see how that works out. Anyway, let's get back to it. I have not played the game before, but it feels like we are a little beyond the halfway mark. Now, where did I stop?
Candles, candles, candles. I think Rebecca keeps a stash of them, but where?
Okay, so we're looking to get those candles. Did I give back the master key? Did. Okay, so we did save that. So the other thing I want to do is I want to put away this money that I have in my pocket.
Alright, we're getting somewhere.
Nice.
Now, to resist the temptation to spend it on a burger at Harry's.
No, no burgers. Until we get to Paris. It's going to be exceedingly expensive.
I'm good.
Okay, they're just not going to let us in the toilet. Last time we tried to go into the toilet, Wendy was crying her eyes out in there. Nothing else to give back. I've been wanting to give back the screwdriver, but they haven't given me really an option to do that. Okay, so I very quickly at the end of the stream, I just dealt with the key situation where we had to get the master key because we had left our keys behind. We had to grab the master keys, and I wanted to make sure that we gave those back because I don't want that hanging over our heads. But I didn't actually inspect the room. Have a look around. We heard there's a famous movie director staying in 602. Jay. Yes, I was there when he checked in. I don't know who he is, but he must be pretty important because Bernard was almost licking his boots. He even let the man bring his dogs in the hotel. Yes. Is he shooting a picture in Montreal? Jay. I heard he's here on a scout, but I'm not sure what it means. S. Maybe he's making a picture on Boy Scouts. Jay. You think he'll shoot in the hotel? Why? Det, I think. I'm not sure who J and S are. Jacques. And I don't know who S is. Unless it's us. Hope he does. Imagine we could meet famous actors like James Dean. So the director has supernatural powers because Dean is very much dead. What? James Dean is dead? Andrew's book club. Ah, they wrote on the back of Andrew's book club. Happy with that. Well, who knows? Same paper, same paper. What about this one? Is this also the same paper? Different paper. Was there a personal hygiene worry you? Are those worries bothering your husband? Stop worrying and save your marriage with Lies Oil? Lies Oil has been endorsed for more than 60 years by scientists, medical professionals, and many other men who have women's hygiene at heart. What the shit? Oh, it's just a back. Well, okay. We did find a bottle of that in somebody's night stand, but I thought it was like a disinfectant thing, and I guess that is what it is, but did you really put that on Vagine? Doesn't seem like a good idea. Nice. Sandra always greets clients with a fork. You like Sandra? Satan? Bobby, you realize it's the person with the lowest score who wins, right? Cheating. Employees comes to my attention. Several guests have complained about a member of our staff going through their belongings in their absence. This has to stop now. Anyone with information regarding this situation should go to my office as soon as possible. I want the person behind this swiftly identified and reprimanded. Should no one come forward within a week, punitive measures will be taken against all of you. That's a war crime, Bernard. Selective punishment. Not a thing we should be doing. Anyway, that's us. We're the ones.
Don't worry, Gossiper. I'm coming back to you. I still haven't learned all of Gracie Jones' secrets.
Adventure of Gracie Joan. Dirty little secrets exposed. Also, the untold story behind Frankie and Ava's divorce. All you need to know about the Presley scandal. And is Liz bankrupting Mike? I don't know who those are, but sure. Dean knew he had a date with death. Something about lipstick.
This is probably Beth's latest project. It's really cool how she has an eye for this kind of thing.
There's a hobo in the middle of it. I'm not sure who the rest of them are.
I don't always get fashion, but these are fun to look at. When half the pages haven't been cut out.
Okay, well, this is all in French, so I'm not going to get most of it. Diet and chocolate is both possible, I think. The bottom. Marriage collection. I think the marriage collection then. I just saw what the magazine is called. It's called Vague. Very good. Very good. Whoever keeps stealing my lunch, I want my Tupperwares back. Oh, I think I do know who that is. Or, hang on. It's your job to prank others. Yes, it is. But not like modern internet pranks. They're shit. Back to the old pranks. They're the best.
Now's not the time to pick up Smokey and Sophie.
It is the time to pick up. Mary always makes sure to wear her uniform properly. Good job, Mary. Okay, so somebody in here has like a shit ton of Tupperware in their locker. Don't remember who. That's the one we actually need to go to.
It's locked.
It's mine.
Fine. Keep your secrets, locker.
Beth.
Are you looking to buy land? I know you grew up on a farm. Maybe you're looking to get back to nature.
Land for sale, 72 acres of fertile land. Where is this? Rhodes Brothers. Is it Rhode Island? No. Gemstone of land has become available for you to acquire near the municipality of Farnham and on the riverfront of the Yamaska River. I don't know. Canada, presumably. But, you know, Canada's big. Who knows where it is?
Didn't I find one of these in Answerham, too? The White Cat must be a popular spot. Wait, is this you, Beth? What on earth led to this picture being taken?
It'd say she was a model.
Is that a live alligator? I think I'd die on the spot.
An alligator or a crocodile? I honestly, I don't know. Something to do with their snout, but I don't know. Beth.
Off limits.
Oh. I think we've seen the.
It's locked.
Carol is the new maid. We haven't met her yet.
Off limits.
Bunch of Tupperwares on top of the locker. Or maybe that's what I saw. It's cleared hers out. Isn't a good sign. Possible I didn't do enough to prevent her from being Tried. Becca, the VIP guest in 602, is getting on my nerves. He keeps ordering food that's not on the menu. We don't usually do special orders, but Bernard was adamant that we make all of his wishes come true. Do I look like a goddamn genie? It's not even the worst of it though. Every night he barges in the kitchen as if he was at home, asking for meat for his precious little terriers. Who feeds dogs $4 roast beef? I can't even afford $4 roast beef for myself. Bobby.
So you do have a stash of candles. But where is it?
Becca, the kitchen is out of power again, and I can barely see a thing. Bernard wants us to continue working, but I'm not risking chopping off my fingers for that blowhard. Did you start hoarding candles since the last power outage? I remember you saying you never wanted to be caught in the dark basement again. Where's your stash? It's urgent. Please. Is there? Can't tell. Does have a stash of candles.
Maybe Bobby took some candles from Rebecca already.
I can find Bobby's. This is the girls' locker room. Yeah, they're all women. Okay. Bobby's locker must be outside. Anthony.
It's locked.
Doc. Has the photograph. So that's Wendy and Jock. They're the engaged couple that seem to have split up, and Wendy has cleared out her locker as well. She may not actually work here anymore. Okay. There's some Tupperware. I knew there was Tupperware in somebody's locker.
No candles, but this looks like the laundry room.
Laundry brig.
That must be the location of Rebecca's stash.
Okay. Don't think I was able to open this locker previously. I didn't see, so it's Tupperware. But yeah, it seems like he's the guy who's keeping all the Tupperware. Jean. Janitor. The washing machines are out of order. Because of this, I won't be able to finish our current load in time. But Beth will be forced off again. Oh no.
Beth definitely doesn't want more reasons to have to talk to guests. Especially if it involves apologizing.
Else there, and I can't put.
People don't usually leave these unlocked. Open sesame, off limits.
I can't put the screwdriver back. That's what I want to do. Okay. So the laundry brig. Science suggests. Our candles are over there somewhere. So let's look around first. Becca, the washing machines are not broken. The problem comes from the pipes. They're completely frozen. It's only a matter of time before they burst and flood the entire basement. I warned Bernard about this issue last winter, but of course he only cares about renovating the parts of the hotel the guests can see. Behind that nice facade, everything is crumbling. I'll see what I can do, but it's not maintenance we need, it's a freaking miracle. Gee. Well, that's not good. Let's walk out of here quickly, I guess.
Ooh, is this a movie script?
They've got EL. Not sure who that is. In a northwesterly direction. North by northwest. Is this what this is going to turn into eventually? Needs more murder. Add a killer tornado? Question mark. Why cut the scene inside the nose? That's part of the script. Cut the scene inside the. Does it say nose? It says nose. If James Stewart is available. Paper note with funny drawing. These things they've found in the laundry. Red lipstick, $2.50. Loose change, 3 business cards, peppermints, lots of them. Cigarette pack, silver ring, $4 bills, or $1 bills, rather. Green pen, a movie script, which we there. 20-cent in loose change, a cigarette pack, paper note with number. Oh, hang on, we might need that. Black pen by 2, and 135 in loose change. Two and 60. Might be a safe combination. Don't think we're gonna know where it came from. Gotta snoop. Snooping all the things. Game is all about snooping.
It would make sense for Rebecca to keep her candles by her workstation.
I'm more surprised there are, like, not many of these drawers and cupboards and what have you. Not many of them are repeated. The items that you find in them, like, been a few in the suites. Right, just come.
Stash uncovered. Reb, you won't mind if I just take one, right?
Church candles?
Got a candle. Now, what next?
Beth wants to talk to us now. Do we have the stuff?
Let's see if Beth is around.
Check all, please. Is this going to have turned out to be a waste of time? Almost certainly. Yes, it was. But see, like, none of those were repeats. Impressive. It was not something the developer had to do. I don't see anything else for us to interact with in here. And
Mr. VIP is really getting to Bobby.
Becca, I confess I'm about to commit murder. I don't care who he is, how rich he is, how famous he is, the VIP guest in 602 is a goddamn psycho. He ordered room service this morning, but somehow the plates got mixed up and he received eggs instead of pancakes. It happens, right? Well, the man rushed to the kitchen in a frenzy and yelled at us for 10 minutes straight saying eggs are disgusting and he hates them. I should have told him he's disgusting and I hate him. I thought of spitting in his next meal, but before leaving he swore he'd never order anything from our kitchen ever again. Without the shadow of a doubt, this is the worst establishment I've ever visited, he said in his pompous accent. He ever sends his clothes downstairs to be cleaned. Can you be a good friend and stitch all of his pockets? Any other form of sabotage would do too. I know you're creative. Just be careful not to arouse too much suspicion. Bobby. Still.
I hope you managed to calm him down, Reb. The last thing the Clarington needs today is a murdered guest.
I think we're about to get one. Don't think it's going to be 602. Okay. That is a thick door. Really thick door.
There you are.
There I am.
I'm not sure I understand what the plan is here.
Well, when I was little, we had padlocks on many of the farm's sheds. My dad would always lose the keys, so one day he made a mold of them using wax and plaster. I was thinking of doing the same.
Are you sure it's gonna work?
Absolutely not. But hey, I guess we won't know until we try.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's do this. Okay, to start, we need to pour the wax from the pot.
Right?
Have you done this before? You're a real pro.
You're pro at pouring things?
Now, time to put the key into the wax. Let's give it a few seconds, so the mold really takes form. Okay,
Fast.
I think you can remove it.
How can I remove this without destroying them? Okay, I can just take it out.
Well, we're almost there.
I should not have been
Just
able
pour the
to
cup
do
of plaster
that.
into the mold. All right. Now we wait for it to dry.
Okay.
How long do you think it's gonna
There's
take?
no way I'm going to be able to
I guess
undo
we'll
a
keep
lock with
poking
this,
it
though.
every now and then.
I bet you didn't think you'd be making a plaster key today, huh?
Indeed. But I like it. It's rare that this job allows me to use my creative side.
Your creative side.
Well, granted, this key won't end up in any museum, but I enjoy the occasional artistic endeavor.
Like posing with alligators?
How do you know about that?
Oh, I think it must have slipped out of your locker because I saw this picture of you in a long white dress and...
Oh my, you did? What did you think of it?
Pretty hot.
I loved it, actually. It was unique, I guess. Artistic?
Yeah. Those pictures were taken by a very close friend of mine a few years back. Ziva Rivers was her name. Earth-shattering talent, but a bit too controversial for most people's sensibilities.
Oh. Are you still friends?
No. We went our separate ways. It's a shame. She really captured me. My essence.
Your essence is to tame alligators?
Yeah,
My
snake.
essence is to fear nothing.
Except for mice. I'm just kidding. I wish I was as fearless as you are.
I'm sure under that sweet exterior, you're pretty fearless too. Haven't you ever done something really scary? I mean, other than snooping on a potential creep.
Does sailing count?
Excuse me? You sail? On a boat?
Me?
I used to, with my grandpa. But when he died, we had to sell the boat to pay off his debts.
Okay, so
Oh,
that's the
that's too
boat that's in
bad.
our locker.
I would have
The
loved to
photo
go
of
with
the
you.
boat that's in our locker.
Maybe it'd be possible to borrow a boat for a day. I think one of Grandpa's friends still has his.
Really? That would be great. I just love trying new things.
I'll see what I can do.
Hey, look! I think it's dry.
I can't believe
Careful.
it worked.
Careful.
I could not have done this without you.
How'd you get it out without destroying it?
Probably not.
Just plaster.
Well, I should get back upstairs before Bernard notices my absence. If he hasn't already.
This wouldn't
You
have.
know how it goes with the key.
This would just fall apart.
Oh, and be
I'm not-
careful while turning it, okay? You wouldn't want it to break inside
Okay,
the
well,
lock.
at least they're making
Yeah,
some allusion
I'll be
to this
careful.
being not
Thank you
particularly
for everything.
strong.
No problem.
I would have thought they'd have put something in the mold to give it some kind of integrity. Oh, I mean, what could you put in there? It's plaster and it's very thin. Right. I think
I've got 2 keys. Now, let's test them out.
2 keys. I've got my set of keys for getting around. And I have that screwdriver, but I don't know how to get it. Yeah, I don't know. Back. Turned up this road. I can't fix it either. It won't let me. Our cart is still there. Oh wait, this is 508. 7 is the one. 508 is the one with jizz all over it. We don't want to go to that one. 7.
Be careful, Sophie. You don't want this key to break.
Playing music, or is that just the game?
Unlike my favorite bar, this one was black. Her alliterative name will surely take you back. These two sure love their riddles.
In Atlanta, I noticed yours was pretty worn down, so I decided to buy you a new one. I hope you like it. And since you enjoy them so much, here's a little puzzle to figure out the combination. 2 5-letter words are the key, both related to our history. Like my favorite bar, this one was black. Okay. Her alliterative name will surely take you back. From the first one, take the first 2. From the last one, take the last 2. Hope you get better. Try to rest today. I will bring you hot soup. Class M.
Huh. Marcella invited you to the movies. Let me guess. You said yes.
Postman Always Rings Twice is playing at Lowe's Theatre tonight. It's based on a novel I read a while back. I'm sure you would love it, seeing as you like crime stories and murder so much. Nothing creepy about that. Will you come with me, Marcella? On the movie tickets, Lowe's Theatre, Montreal, Canada, 25 cents. Barely listened to Sister Miller's lecture today. Can't wait for tonight. Code. In the secret language, all I do is look at your lips and imagine kissing you. Okay, so it's an affair. Dear Anne, I have just heard Doris Day on the radio and made me think of you. I know how much you love Sentimental Journey, counting every mile of a railroad track that takes me back. Last time I was in Texas, it felt like coming home. Now, strangely, I feel away from home. I wish you were here with me. I always feel at home in your arms. I can hardly believe it has been 5 weeks since we last saw each other. Sometimes I wonder if I might be going crazy. You're always in my head. Everything reminds me of you, not only songs on the radio, but silly things like the flowers in our garden that smell of your shampoo, or when people say the word darling. And I can hear you say it with your lovely French accent, darling. My family seems to have noticed my odd behavior, but of course I cannot tell them about you, even though... I wish I could. I feel like climbing on the roof of the tallest building in Austin and shouting my feelings for you at the top of my lungs. God, I sound like a giddy teenager in love for the very first time. Maybe I am. Sometimes I'm scared that all this time with you was nothing but a dream. A dream too good to be true. I'm afraid that when I return to Montreal, I will realize you never existed. If you do exist, you don't remember me. I wish I had a picture of the two of us, so I know for sure it was real. I long for your embrace and the taste of your sweet lip.
Doris Day. That's an alliteration, isn't it? Doris. I-S.
Photo. Anne, I'm sorry it took me so long to answer your last letter. Has it been 6 months already since I left Montreal? As you always say, le temps passe si vite. Time passes quickly. My parents are glad I am done with my studies. I always thought it was a strange idea for me to go to university. Now they want me to find a husbando and have children like any other woman. I think I will. Past few months, I had a lot of time to reflect on our relationship. You know my feelings for you, and I hope you never forget how much I love you. But we cannot hide our heads in the sand any longer. We were lucky our story lasted as long as it did, and foolish to think it would last forever. Our love is verboten, and hiding it from my family is proving more and more difficult every day. You'll always have a special place in my heart, but I believe it is time for us to go our separate ways. It is 1947, so it's 11 years ago. You made me feel like a teenager. You made everything but the present disappear. Now I need to be an adult and think about the future. Sincerely, M. Bar. Letter has been sent to you and has been around the world 3 times. The one who breaks the chain will have bad luck. It's dismissed, receives a letter 53, right 30. Okay, it's Chandler. Thank you note. Know my name, but you've seen me. I recognize it. Look at your eyes. You checked in. You and I don't need to. I think that mentioned. School. Might be in Marcella's.
That riddle's a toughie. Maybe I need a fresh pair of eyes on it.
Clarington Hotel reception desk. Beth speaking.
Hey, Beth. Got a minute?
For you, always been.
I opened the chest in room 507.
You did? Damn, I have to admit I didn't really believe in our little plaster key, but way to go.
Why'd you make me do it then?
I'm surprised as well. It's quite sturdy.
So, spill it. What's in the chest?
A riddle.
A riddle?
I think it was written by Mrs. Beaumont for Mrs. Cruz. And I think the answer will give me the combination for a case I found in room 509. I could use your help with it, though.
Oh, God, I hate riddles.
Hates riddles.
Well, let's hear it. Which part is causing you trouble?
I think I've got her a letter of payments.
Unlike my favorite bar, this one was black. Do you know what this could mean?
You said Mrs. Beaumont wrote the riddle, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but I have no idea what her favorite bar is.
I think I do.
Really? How?
That's a story for another time. But if I had to bet, I'd put my money on the White Cat.
The White Cat. I think I get it.
Well, that wasn't too hard, was it? Is there anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
Don't mention it. I'm just glad I could be of some help. Call me after you've opened that case.
You know I will.
Is it the dog? Hang on, get the picture. Picture. Here, I think it was in here. There's the dog. Dog is black. No, it's not a cat, but like, what's the fucking else here? So.
A cat named Greta. G.R.
It's a cat. I almost certainly would have thought it was the dog's. Looking at it now, it's quite. Okay, so it's G-R-I-S. When I came in, where was the key? It's here. Combinations G-R-I-S, Gris. Ray. It's her husband's head, isn't it? Okay, expecting that.
That novelist, Bridget Boswell, is actually you, Marcella?
Oh. Dear Marcella, or should I say Bridget? You know I prefer a good old crime story, but last week I came upon a romance novel with an intriguing title, and they were roommates. Bought it on an impulse at a train station and read it from cover to cover during the journey. Can you imagine my surprise when I recognized the story? You may have changed the names and locations, but all of our moments are there. Endless discussions in the dorm room, our first date at the theater, our trip to Quebec City. Often said writers are thieves, but I never fully understood until now. It's been almost 10 years since I received your last letter, the letter that painted our relationship as nothing more than a summer fling. First, I could not believe you had written those words, then I waited in vain for your answer and had to accept your love for me had never been real. Many years I was broken-hearted, angry, confused, questioned the nature of our feelings, our attraction. I made many wrong decisions, but this book, your book, am I foolish to think it's proof you really loved me? In case, I hope you are well, and I am happy to see you accomplish your dream of becoming a writer. Très sincèrement, Anna.
Oh, Anne. Murder might be a bit much, but you deserve some kind of justice.
Dear Marcella, I didn't expect you to reply to my letter, but I'm happy to see I was wrong. Your words have comforted me in a time of great distress. Only Louis was half the man you say Hector is. He has quite a temper, and it hits me frequently. Willing to put up with it as long as he doesn't hurt Michael, but there are some days when it becomes almost unbearable. The other day I dreamt of our first date. We were watching The Postman Only Rings Twice again. Suddenly we were in the movie. You were Lana Turner, I was John Garfield. We were both plotting to kill my husband. I hate to admit it, but I almost hope it was premonitory. Premonitory? Premonitory. Answer your question, I do still have our box. My brother is currently in Atlanta for work, and I was thinking of going to see him with Michael next month. If you're able to meet me there, we could open the box together and laugh at the silly things we thought important all those years ago. Hear from you soon. Anna. P.S. Do you remember the secret language we invented so Sister Miller couldn't understand the notes we passed during her class? Language I still do.
I do like a happy ending. I just hope that's where your story is headed.
It's headed to murder. Thank you for sending me a signed version of your latest novel. I think it's your greatest work yet, but I do have a few comments to help make the next one even better. First, I believe Rose should be more concerned with what she deserves than what her husband deserves. He may not deserve the pain she will cause by leaving him, but they both deserve to be happy, and they won't be as long as they remain together, as long as she doesn't listen to her own needs. Also, I think it would be great if your next novel ended on a more positive note. Imagine if Rose left her husband and rode into the sunset with you. Imagine if they went to New York or Los Angeles, someplace where people like us are tolerated. Kind of hope for something better than tolerated, but you can get. Imagine if they got to have their happy ending. It would be the best story ever. I hope you will consider it. Best.
Oh, so you came to Montreal under the pretense of celebrating your wedding anniversary, but all along, you meant to reunite with Anne.
That's from the next letter. I skipped too fast. Now you say invisibility protects us, but don't you just wish to be seen sometimes? Wouldn't you like people to know you are Bridget Boswell, to recognize you on the street, to recognize you for your work? Why not publish your next novel under your own name? Marcella, I left the house, I left Louis, I couldn't take it anymore, I couldn't lie anymore. How do you do it? How do you manage to live a double life? Hide your work and your novels from your husband? He's hiding the novels as well. I suppose she would have to, but that is one clueless husband. I had so much less to hide, and yet Michael and I are staying at the Clarendon Hotel until we find a place to stay and the divorce is done. I don't know how long it will take. Would you come and see me in Montreal? I really need you by my side right now. Yes, I wouldn't put it past Louis to scour every hotel guest book in the region looking for me under his surname, so I've registered under the name. And that explains why the letters were in a different name. Okay. Yes, she said yes, because she's here.
After all this, turns out you're a fan of Bridget? Of Marcella? That's a lot sweeter than I expected.
Marcella, although you don't know me, I think I can safely say I'm your biggest fan. Your novels... Okay, I guess the letters on the left were more recent. Your novels have literally changed my life. After the war, I spent almost 10 years Oh, no, it says, Dear Marcella, 10 years in a psychiatric hospital because of panic attacks. None of the treatments were working, and I wasn't getting any better. I became friends with one of the nurses who started lending me books so I could pass the time. I didn't really like the first ones, but then I picked up Bridget Boswell's first novel, your novel. I'd never read such a beautiful love story. It almost brought tears to my eyes. I immediately urged the nurse to get me more of your books. Believe it or not, the more I read them, the less panic attacks I had. Fewer. Fewer panic. Anyway, the doctors thought it was their new medication finally working, but I knew the truth. It's all the drugs. Your novels gave me the courage to get in contact with Lindsay, a friend from the war. I'd always felt for him the same way your characters feel for each other, but I had never dared telling him. Now I have, thanks to you. Thought of seeing him again is what motivated me to get better and leave the hospital. I'll hear back from him soon. This Mr. Spade. After my discharge, I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me. I've discovered Bridget was a pseudonym, so tracking you down took longer than I thought. That's not all. Yeah, it's him. Fortunately, I'm a very patient and resourceful man, and I never give up. Do you think we could meet? I have so much more to tell you.
I'm glad you were able to open up to Marcella like this. Everyone needs someone to talk to.
Is she not? Thank you for answering my letter. I realize now how unsettling it must have been for you. Please forgive me for tricking your editor into giving me your address. I shouldn't have done that. These are blaring red alarm flags. I wanted to thank you as well for your encouraging words concerning Lindsay. I still haven't heard from him, and I'm starting to fear I might have the wrong address. I might just not feel the same way. I wish I could take a train to Virginia, but that's not an option right now, as I can barely pay the rent. I guess I will have to find a job. As a kid, I dreamt of being an actor, a Hollywood star. I know it's a foolish dream, but what else can I do? What am I good at? I tried getting some odd jobs already, but employers turn me down as soon as they learn where I've spent the last 10 years of my life. Yeah, veterans were not treated. Well, they're still not treated particularly well, but this was no different. And if anything, it was worse. If it continues like this, I'll probably end up on the street like so many of my army buddies. Why am I even telling you all this? After reading your books and getting to know you through them, I tend to forget I'm a stranger to you. I hope you don't mind. To be a good listener. I've been feeling rather lonely ever since I left the hospital. Anyway, please tell me more about your life, and do not hesitate to write long letters. I must have read your previous one 1,000 times already.
An advance on my salary. So Marcella hired you. But what for?
She is deliberately hiring the guy to spy on Hector. I've just received a letter, or to track down the blackmailer, possibly. I've just received a letter from Lindsay's mother. She tells me he's dead. Okay, I thought Lindsay. Words cannot even begin to describe how empty I feel. He died 2 years ago, before I even sent my first letter. I'll never know my feelings for him, and I will never know if he could have loved me back. I guess I should have known this would end in pain, just like your novels. She had Lindsay's ability to find beauty everywhere. Even during the war, amidst the death and chaos, he would marvel at the forests of Germany, at the sun, the birds. He loved birds so much, he could identify them just by listening to their song. Well, I can identify a wood pigeon, mostly because there's been one outside my bedroom window for the last... Fucking long do wood pigeons live? It's gotta be a different wood pigeon, right? But, swear to God, it's the same fucking one. I have to admit, your proposition took me by surprise. I was hesitant to leave home at first. I was afraid to miss Lindsay's answer, but now there's nothing keeping me here. I'm desperate for anything that will help me forget the pain. But I don't have enough money to make it to Texas. Do you think you could give me an advance? Of everything, I'm really excited to know I'll finally meet you. Oh. We not figured out who Paul is.
Oh, Lindsay's a man. Yeah. I guess it was presumptuous of me to think otherwise.
I assumed his gender. You still not figured out who Paul is? Nope, still hasn't figured out who Paul is. I know Paul. I've put it together.
So, let me get this straight. Mrs. Beaumont and Mrs. Cruz are some kind of star-crossed lovers?
Seems like it, yeah. But I'm not sure whether they chose to meet here just to reconnect for a few days, or if there's something more to it.
Well, I may be able to help with that.
Really? How?
Oh, some mail arrived earlier for Mrs. Beaumont.
what's in it.
We could open it.
I mean, that's kinda illegal.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Mhm.
Well, too late. I've always known I would end up in prison one day.
So?
It's 3 train tickets.
Ah.
And, there's a tourism pamphlet for California.
California.
Well, it makes
Clever.
sense. It's much more progressive there than it is here.
So, Anna and Marcella want to go there to live their love freely.
Anne and Marcella, huh? You 3 are best pals now?
Well, after reading so much of their correspondence, I kind of feel like I
Fewer
know
syllables
them,
to use their first
you
name.
know?
Yeah. But what about Mr. Morgan, though? I mean, Paul. How does he fit into all of this?
And Marcella hired.
I think Marcella hired him. I found some letters Paul wrote to her. He said that her proposition took him by surprise, and that he'd need an advance on his salary.
What did she hire him for? To investigate her own affair?
I'm not sure. I didn't find the letter he was replying to.
And why did he have those pictures of you anyway?
I guess we'll never know for sure, but I don't think it was ever about me.
It's always been about Anne and Marcella.
Exactly.
Well, it feels a tad anticlimactic, but who needs drama, right?
At least it made our day pretty interesting.
It sure did. You know, after today, I think I get why you're so interested in the lives our guests lead. I try to forget they exist as soon as I'm done interacting with them. But once in a while, it's nice to remember that, well, even the most put-together person could be an absolute mess on the other side of the door.
What about you? Who is Beth Lambert when no one's looking?
I like to think that with me, what you see is what you get. But maybe an extra Snoopy super sleuth could uncover a few more layers. Maybe ones I didn't even know I had.
I assume you know you're wearing underwear.
Challenge accepted.
Come see me when your shift ends, alright? We could leave together if you want.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah.
If we're able to. With all that snow, I'm thinking maybe we'll have no choice but to spend the night here.
Ooh, a sleepover. We could set up a pillow fort on the mezzanine.
A pillow fort? We do work in a hotel, you know. There are actual beds here.
I know,
Yeah,
but
pillow
isn't
fort's
my
more
way
fun.
so much more fun?
Yes.
Well, we could take a page out of Michael's book and decorate it, and then spend the night throwing stuff at Bernard whenever he comes through the lobby.
Oh, now you're talking.
I just have to finish my tasks for the day, and then I can leave.
But anything. Shit. This is the one that was torn up. That one. Not torn up. This one shouldn't. They assume. I don't. Shouldn't. Oh, it was in the. It was in the vent. I need to put it back in the vent. Can't pick it up though. Fine. Don't remember. Let's go. Is the elevator going? Uh-oh. Stuck. Can't turn around anymore. Just want to read my schedule. 506 and 508. I still need. That's a lot of. 8 handprints. And crawl to the elevator and then died in front of the door. Touch anything, Sophie. Don't touch anything. Wait. Stop it. Stop touching things.
Mr. Cruz?
Husbando. Well, now they really can. No, don't touch anything. Super dead, Sophie.
Mr. Cruz. Oh god. Oh god. What happened? Mr. Cruz's life insurance policy. Why did
Grand.
he have this on him? Marcella? Okay, let's not jump to conclusions.
A little to.
Is this about Paul? Does that mean...
We're reporting that guest's unacceptable behavior. We will look into it as soon as possible. I regret to inform you that we cannot divulge a guest's personal information regardless of that guest's behavior. I'm sure you will understand we are very concerned with our guest's privacy and our staff prides itself on its discretion. Please contact us should that guest bother you again. Burner.
Please let there be someone around who can help.
Shit. Okay. Fine. Stairs. Not supposed to be a horror. Stairs are fucking blocked. God damn it.
I knew blocking the stairs would be a bad idea.
Is Eugene? Oh, he's not. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Everybody, it's fine. Nobody freak out. I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out. I'm gonna have to fucking clean all this blood, too. Did you thought about that, Hector, before you crawled all over the fucking carpet? Just gonna clean up. We'll regret was we resort to these. Oh, I've read them. This is where we started the game. Avoid stepping.
Hello? Is anyone in? Hello? I need help.
Wired. I presume we need to follow the blood tracks, but I'm just going to check the one other room we haven't been in yet. Shit. This is the one that needed full clean.
This can wait.
Anyway. Never mind. Guess I'll have to do that on a different playthrough. Oh, okay. That's where he got. Fucking shanked by the ice pick. And somebody left his camera.
These look like Marcella's pearls. happened here?
An earring or a necklace? Purposely avoiding the thing I should be looking
A. B. and Beaumont.
at. Uh-oh. 2? Bro, this is good. This isn't good. Okay.
Should I hold on to this, maybe?
Absolutely. It stays there. Camera. He's engraved his name on it. It is not.
Poor Paul. Lindsay's death really hit him hard. He hasn't been in the best headspace.
Headspace was a word people were using then. Anyway, Valentine's Day. Montreal's much bigger than I had expected. Big cities always make you feel lonely, and that feeling was only exacerbated this morning by the fact that everyone around me was speaking a language I could not understand. Bought an English-French dictionary at the train station, but I don't think I'll need it after all. English speakers seem more common in the downtown area, thank God. The hotel is nice. When I arrived, the whole staff was busy getting ready for some big event. It wasn't until I saw Marcella enter the lobby with a flower bouquet that I realized today is Valentine's Day. Hector and her were gone in a flash, and I was left feeling more alone than ever. Wishing Lindsay was here with me. Helping Marcella out these past weeks has been a great distraction, but it still hurts so much every time I think about him. I had hoped the pain would have gone by now. Probably need a double dose of Miltone to sleep.
So Paul just needed to pass the time while Marcella was away. That's why he was observing us.
February 15th. Today I wanted to follow Marcella and Hector out of the hotel, but the sidewalks were so packed with people that I started having a panic attack. I tried taking a cab, and that's when I realized I was out of money. It's been a while since Marcella's last payment, and the hotel room was more expensive than I had anticipated. I couldn't resort to selling the camera, so I decided to pawn my victory medal instead. It was hard letting it go after so many years, and yet it also felt strangely liberating. Maybe it's a sign I shouldn't be holding on to the past so much. To fight boredom until Marcella and Hector's return, I started looking at the hotel staff. I heard Andrew and Beth at the reception desk discussing books and movies. They both seemed like nice people. I wish I had found the courage to join their conversation. When you look at people all day and they never look back, you start feeling invisible. I noticed that Sophie, the maid in charge of cleaning the 5th floor, seems to share my interest for other people's lives. Maybe I should try talking to her.
Paul was hiding out, right here. Did he ever find the person who was sneaking out at night?
Sneaking out of their room every night. The question has been driving me crazy since my first night at the hotel, so tonight I decided to investigate. Found a hiding spot near the ice machine with a nice view of the whole corridor. My camera's at the ready, but there's been no movement for at least 3 hours, and I'm fighting not to fall asleep. Need for Miltone tonight. Thought being a detective would be more exciting. Maybe Marcella's right. Maybe it's time I let go of Mr. Spade.
9:45? So Anne and Marcella met here this morning while I was busy cleaning room 504.
I woke around 9:30 a.m. and realized I had fallen asleep sometime in the early morning. I had to go back to my room when the guest from room 507 came to sit on one of the chairs close by. She's been there ever since, and I don't dare leave my hiding spot in front of her. Marcella joined the guest from 507 around 9:45. Apparently she told Hector she didn't love him anymore, and he's now convinced she's been cheating on him. That explains why he assaulted me out of the blue yesterday evening and accused me of having an affair with his wife. The guest from 507, I've learned her name is Anne, has just said she might have an idea on how to solve their problem. I'm thinking of revealing myself, but I don't want to anger Marcella. The longer I wait, the more awkward it will be when I do come out. Maybe I should. Fully standing in the blood now.
So Paul's work with Marcella was to follow her around like a private investigator, to help her with research for her novel.
Paul, I'm sorry to hear you were in such a dire situation. You seem to possess a lot of useful skills, and it's a shame employers cannot see past your medical history, but don't despair. I have been writing novels for almost 8 years now. My publisher takes most of the sales revenue. But I was still able to collect a substantial sum of money over the years. Now I would like to use that money to hire you. I'm getting tired of romance novels and I'm thinking of branching out into crime fiction. As a sort of research, I would like you to follow me around town and take notes of my comings and goings. I'm aware this is a very unusual job, but considering you were able to track me down, I believe you would make a great private detective. In addition to your salary, I would cover all work-related expenses, and you would of course be the first to read the manuscript once it's finished.
Paul really got into his role.
Hope spying on me isn't proving too exhausting. You've really inspired me so far, and I already have tons of ideas. The trench coats you bought were a nice touch. You look straight out of a film noir. I also noticed you started smoking. It's probably another way for you to get into character, but maybe that's pushing it a little too far. You know best, of course, but don't pick up drinking next. At this rate, I should be able to start writing in 2 or 3 weeks. Thanks again for your help.
He followed Marcella to Montreal even though she was done with her research.
I already told you I do not require your services anymore. I am starting to worry you are taking your role a bit too seriously. You are not a real detective. You have to let go. Oops.
I have to get the power back on.
Where would I do that? Janitor's closet? It's just the snowstorm, right? Nefarious. Some light is coming from here somewhere.
It's too big. I guess I'll need something pointier. I don't think there's anything here that would help me. Think, Sophie, think. What can you use to open the fuse box?
E from 5 to 7?
I don't think I'll need this again.
Oh, the ice pick. Right. Definitely gotta fucking put this back.
The fuse box. Just get to the fuse box in the janitor's closet, Sophie. It's not far. That worked, thank God. Now, to get the power back. Eugene, what I would give to have you with me right now. Your note will have to make do.
If there's a power outage and I'm busy preventing another part of this hotel from collapsing, here's what to do. Check the fuse box plan for required amperage of each socket. All blown fuses from sockets tip. Blown fuses are usually black. Screw in new fuses into sockets, make sure amperage is correct. Flick big lever to restore power.
Yes, this is what I need.
Another one. 4 out, didn't I? No, 3. Okay. I know what's what though. I need a 15. 15 is a type A. Okay. 30, type G. Process of elimination. Going out. Big switch. Okay, the fucking ice pick back.
Power's back. Now I should go down to the lobby. Call the police.
How am I gonna do that? How are we gonna do that, Sophie? The elevator's not gonna close. Shit back. 1958. So it's too early. Fingerprints. Exactly, you think we're getting
Is there
down?
anything I've forgotten? Once I leave this floor, I probably won't be able to come back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's remarkably little blood on me after doing that.
Phone. I need a phone. Beth? Where is everyone?
Montreal Police Service, Station 22.
There's a man dead. He's been murdered. I need the police.
Please stay calm, ma'am. Where are you right now?
The lobby. But the body, it's upstairs.
Can you give me the address, please?
Oh, 1178 Drummond Street.
All right, ma'am. Officers are on their way.
Thank you.
Bernard's gonna be fucking pissed.
Now, I just have to wait for the police.
While I'm waiting, a snoop.
So Anne and Marcella really are planning to run off together. Was what happened to Hector part of their plan? Is this the brochure Beth was talking about? The one that came in the mail for Anne? The West Coast. That's about as far from Montreal as you can get without crossing an ocean.
Right, Texas. Mexico. Bottom of South America. I'm showing my ignorance now. Peru? Like,
Why does the VIP want to meet with Paul? Maybe he fell for his role-playing and wants to hire him as a private investigator.
all reception staff describe previous instructions. A prestigious guest has expressed the desire to meet the guest from room 505. I cannot fathom what such an illustrious man wants from such a freak. But if you see him, please direct him towards my office.
Bernard really wants Paul out of the hotel.
I've heard more reports of the guest from 505 and his strange behavior, following people around, spying on guests, etc. As you are all aware, we have a very prestigious guest in 602, and I would hate for his stay at our distinguished establishment to be tarnished because of some other undesirable guests. Inform the guest in 505 that he must vacate his room as soon as possible. Invent an excuse if you have to. Also note that from now on, our if you can pay, you can stay policy no longer applies. Guests who do not fit the hotel's new elevated standards should be denied a room. Then, this is a later one. Say, disregard that last thing I said. too is just.
Oh, hey you. Great timing, right? I'm thinking if we're lucky, Bernard will let us go home. No point in working in the dark. Sophie? Bean, you're not scared of the dark, are you? Hey, is everything okay?
I found Mr. Cruz. Hector,
Oh, you did? What was the bloke up to?
you don't understand. I found his body. He's dead, Beth.
Merde. Merde. Sit down, okay? You look like you're about to faint. Have you called the police?
Yeah, they're on their way.
What happened? Was there an accident?
No, I don't think so. Someone did this to him.
You mean... Merde.
No, murder. Not better.
Do you think
Better, better.
Anne and Marcella?
There's evidence on Marcella and Paul. Possibly. I don't know. Could have been. Could? Sure.
I found something on Hector that would point to that. Yes.
Wait, so you touched the body? The dead body?
I have to get it out of the way.
I mean, yes. Kind of.
Sophie, rule number 1 when stumbling upon a dead body. Do not touch. It could really get you in trouble. So, what did you find?
There was this letter that made it sound like Marcella would get a lot of money from her husband's death.
Ugh. Throw the affair into the mix and you get a pretty good motive.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm probably going to hell for saying this. Who am I kidding? I'm going to hell anyway. But I can't really blame her if she did it.
I'm not sure I'm following. You can't blame her for murder.
I'm not excusing it. I'm not. Just... women like Anne and Marcella have so few options. It's like the world is designed to keep them apart.
Beth.
Oh, you know. You know. That photographer I've told you about, Ziva Rivers. She was more than a gal pal.
The roommate?
We were together for a while, and I was so in love. It was like a fire rain couldn't put out. I guess like anything that intense, it wasn't meant to last. But while it lasted, I was the happiest I've ever been. And if something had come between us, kept us apart, I would have done just about anything to be with her. Maybe...
You're not with her.
Well, maybe that's what happened here with Anne and Marcella.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting me with this.
Maybe now you can understand why I care so much about you. I don't know if I'm feeling inspired by Anne and Marcella, or if it's the shock of being so close to an actual murder, but,
Very horny right now, aren't you?
I'd really like for us to be more than just friends, Sophie.
I knew it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like that too.
That's... that's great.
Actually, somewhat more terrifying than if she had said no.
Just be mindful of what you tell them, okay?
Yeah.
Remember, we're just a maid. We won't know. We know nothing. All we do is clean. I just clean. I know nothing. I don't pay attention to what the guests are doing. I don't even know his name. we jumping ahead to the interview, or do you think there'll be a section where we talk?
Miss
I-
Roy? Miss Roy?
Okay, we're jumping
Miss
ahead.
Roy!
Oh, sorry. I was distracted.
I really need you to focus right now. I don't want to be here all night, and I'm sure you don't either.
Hey, do your job.
No. No, I don't.
Work all night, damn it.
So, as I was saying, we're trying to ascertain the circumstances of Mr. Cruz's death.
Some.
Can you tell me how you came to find the body?
I was cleaning room 509 when I heard the elevator bell ring. Again and again and again. I thought maybe a child was playing with the doors, so I went out in the corridor, and that's when I saw him. All the blood and...
Why was the elevator bell ringing?
I'm sorry?
You said you heard the elevator bell ring. Why was it ringing? I assume it wasn't a child after all.
Well, Mr. Cruz's body was preventing the doors from closing.
Really? When we found the body, it wasn't that close to the doors.
Oh, the stairs are blocked because of the renovations, so the elevator's the only way out of the 5th floor. I had no choice but to move the body. Just a little.
Ah, so that explains the traces we found. Thank you for clearing that up. So, what did you do after that?
Well, that's when the power cut. So I had to go to the janitor's closet.
To access the fuse box.
Exactly. I changed a few fuses and turned the power back on.
But there's a lock on that box, isn't there? Did you have the key?
They're gonna know I busted the fucking lock. Fuck.
No, I didn't. Only Eugene does. But I thought an ice pick might do the trick, so I went to the ice machine to get one.
You're a size 7, I suppose.
Yes, I am. Why?
What did you see when you went to the ice machine?
There was...
They have my footprints and all the
A lot of it.
blood.
Did you touch anything?
I might have touched a few things. Just to figure out what had happened to Mr. Cruz.
Of course you did. Why so many witnesses can't help but compromise the evidence is just beyond me. Anyway, what did you do after restoring the power?
I took the elevator down to the lobby. That's where I called the police.
Do you remember what you said to the operator? The exact words.
No.
Wait, I do.
I'm afraid I don't.
I do.
You said, there's a man dead. He's been murdered.
That's possible.
What makes you so sure it was murder?
Wanna incriminate ourselves too much. I mean, look at the guy. It's not like he spontaneously died in the...
I just assumed. What with all the blood. It just didn't look like an accident, you know?
I see. Would you say you're an observant person, Miss Roy?
I think I would, yes.
Good. Then maybe you can help me fill in a few details about this case.
I'll do my best.
Let's start with the victim's wife, Marcella Cruz. Apparently she left in quite a hurry this morning. What can you tell me about her?
Way too much, really. I could come right out and say that. I also don't know nothing about her. Oh, we're a maid. We know nothing. Let's not get involved.
I don't really know anything. She just looks like a loving, caring wife.
Really? That's odd, because we learned a lot about Mrs. Cruz when we went through her room. And let's just say that loving, caring wife are not the first words that would come to mind.
Oh?
She's a lesbian, involved in some sordid affair with the guest from room 507, Mrs. Beaumont. Have you ever witnessed them engaging in immoral behavior?
Is it
What do you
illegal?
mean?
I'm asking if you've seen them being, you know, intimate.
No, I haven't. No.
And did you hear them discuss their deviant ways in front of Mrs. Beaumont's son, perhaps? Imagine what kind of effect such perversion can have on a young
Alright,
child.
I'm feeling less
No, I
bad about
didn't
lying to this guy.
hear anything.
Did you hear them express their hatred of men? Did they ever talk about using violence against men? Did you hear them speak ill of Mr. Cruz?
Fuck this.
What are you trying to imply? That Mrs. Cruz killed her husband because she hates men?
I've seen it before from lesbians.
Oh, this has nothing to do with hate. It's about love. Not that you'd understand.
Oh, and you think you do? Then please, enlighten me.
She's
Oh.
brave enough to be with the one she loves. That doesn't make her a criminal. That doesn't mean she killed her husband.
I'm starting to worry you may be one of them, Miss Roy, since you're so eager to defend
And
these
I worry
deviants.
about your ability to do your job, detective, since you seem to be such a—
Enough! One more word, just one more word, and you'll be spending the rest of your night in a cell.
Not rest of the night. It's already very early in the
Now get the hell out of here. I've had enough of you.
fucking. Well, even if they did discover who killed him, I'm just gonna sabotage it just on general principle at this point.
That can't be a good sign. I guess I'll know soon enough. Let's go see what Bernard wants.
What is this, the day after? Different uniform.
The atmosphere is so different in here. Will it ever feel like it used to? It'll probably be a while before the hotel reopens. Anne, Marcella, and Paul are all suspects for Hector's murder. Was there anything I could have done to protect them?
Yeah, I probably could have removed some evidence. I thought the police would do their job properly. Anyway. Death and deviancy at Clarington's doors. Montreal police continue to move forward with the investigation of the tragic death of an American tourist, Hector Cruz. 32-year-old insurance agent, accompanied by his wife, was enjoying a stay at the Clarington Hotel when his life was tragically cut short on Monday. When the investigation is yet to conclude, Detective Lieutenant Shithead revealed to the press that Mr. Cruz's death has been ruled a murder. Multiple suspects have been apprehended and taken in for questioning. The suspect, Paul Morgan, an unmarried Army veteran who stayed at the Clarington alone, 2 doors down from Mr. Cruz on Sunday. On Sunday, one day before the murder, Morgan was seen verbally then physically provoking Mr. Cruz in the hotel lobby. That's not how it happened, but okay. Investigations have revealed that Morgan is a former patient of... yeah, of course. Tar him as a mental hospital person. According to hospital personnel, Morgan was admitted for displaying erratic, occasionally aggressive behavior. At least less than a year ago. Mr. Morgan immediately struck me as strange and unsettling. Called Bernard Leduc, shithead of Clarington. I was the most vocal in my desire to eject him from the hotel as soon as possible. I took great strides to make this happen. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Although no formal charges have been filed as of yet, this incident has led to an increased interest in the movement against the planned construction of the Ray of Light's against psychiatric hospital. And a strange twist of fate, if construction is sanctioned, the hospital is to be located just down the street from the Clarington. Victim's wife, Marcella Cruz, is also considered a person of interest by the police. Mrs. Cruz's absence from following the discovery of Mr. Cruz's body is seen as conspicuous and suspicious, said Shitface, adding that further evidence suggests that Mrs. Cruz is involved in a homosexual affair. Oh no, how terrible. Mrs. Cruz was apprehended by policemen at the Gare Centrale de Montreal. Train station? Gare. Anyway, he was in the company of another of the Clarington's guests, one Anne Bercy, whom police suspect is the woman with whom Mrs. Cruz engaged in sexual deviancy. Mrs. Bercy, a resident of Montreal, is a housewife pursuing a divorce from her husband, Louis Bercy. She and her 9-year-old son, Michael, eluded Mr. Bercy by occupying a room at the Clarington for over a month. In an interview with the Montrealer, Mr. Bercy deplored his wife's penchant for melodrama and urged her to cease poisoning their son's mind. Mr. Percy was frank about his wife's history of poor decision-making, including making frequent late-night visits to the White Cat. White Cat is one of the city's many underground bars and meeting spots known to attract sexual deviants such as Mrs. Screws. Sounds like a good place. Yesterday evening, Montreal police promised more raids to counter the growing numbers of such establishments. Is it illegal? Is it illegal? Source, freshen up your vag. Alright, that does explain... Wait, no, where did we find the other White Cat matchbox? Is it in Beth's locker? Why not? Alright, fuckface. What do you want?
Go to hell.
Beth,
Hey,
are you okay?
I'm out of a job. But other than that, yeah, everything's just peachy.
What? No,
I hope you're luckier than I am. Come join me when he's done with you, all right? I'll be questioning my life choices on the mezzanine.
yeah, okay.
Ah, Miss Roy.
Oh, you remember
Come
my
in.
name, did you?
I suppose you know why you're here?
I would guess it has something to do with the murder.
Well, you'd be right about that. We've been getting a lot of press lately, and not the good kind. I wouldn't expect you to understand the position I'm in, but I assure you, it's quite uncomfortable. To have one's life's work blown away like that. All thanks to some sexual deviance and a nut job. It's obvious to me now that I haven't been firm enough. For guests of such morals to be comfortable booking a few nights here and committing such a horrid act. Things need to change. This means elevating our standards to the highest possible level, and it starts with the people working here. It starts with you.
Actually, it
With
starts with
me?
you, Bernard.
Yes. From what I've heard, you've been quite the exemplary maid lately. Clean rooms, satisfied guests.
I take my job very seriously, sir.
As you should. We'll see for the future, but for now, you'll be allowed to continue working here.
I'll be allowed to,
Thank
will
you.
I?
I'm not done. The police have finished their investigation and left a mess on the 5th floor. I want you to clean it up.
You want me to go back there?
Yes, why not?
I found a dead body on that floor. I'm not going back.
I'll make this simple for you. If you don't do it, you're fired.
You can't fire me. Because I quit.
Sure. I fire you, you quit. It's all the same to me. Just make sure to empty your locker before the end of the month. That'll be all.
For the month. I'm gone now. See ya. I feel like this is probably the worst ending I could have cast. Unless me in prison, I probably would have been worse, but that's about it.
Hey,
Hey.
what a week.
Yeah. So, what did Bernard want with you?
Well, he was being kind of a jerk, so I quit.
You what?
I quit. I figured there was no point in staying if you were leaving.
I appreciate the solidarity, but you really didn't have to do that.
I think it's for the best.
Really anti-gay
Bernard say why he was
as
firing
well,
you?
so...
Ugh. He was going on and on about keeping deviants out of the hotel, so I may have lost my cool a little.
A little?
I told him I was one of those deviants he was so afraid of. He froze for a moment, then showed me the door.
So, what's next for you?
I think I'm done working under Bernard's or Linda's. Maybe it's time I become my own Bernard. Minus the fascism, of course.
Would be for the best, yes.
I could see myself owning my own establishment, one that caters to the right kind of crowd. Believe it or not, I do enjoy the company of people, just not, the stuck-up, entitled clientele of this prestigious hotel. But Maybe if I were behind the counter of, say, a bar instead of a reception desk. I don't know. Is that silly?
No, it's not. In fact, you'd be perfect for it. You're the most charming person I know.
Thank you. I'm really glad you're in my life.
Me too.
Can I?
Smooch.
Kiss me?
Yes.
I thought you'd never ask.
Right in front of Bernard Salad.
That was...
I know.
Tame. Ding. Who cares about our fucking guests?
I've been thinking about Anna and Marcella a lot.
Should I be jealous?
No, not in that way. I've been thinking about what they went through. How they had to lie and pretend. Day after day. How they had to live someone else's life for 10 years before they could finally be with each other. I don't think I could do that.
Well, I have good news for you, Bean. Times are changing. It's already started elsewhere. And it will get here, eventually.
Yeah,
One
both be
day,
grannies by then,
all
but
the Anns and Marcellas of the world will live happily together.
actually they might
and
have even
no
lived
one will give
to see it.
them.
I really hope that's true.
It will be.
Three conspirators charged. This was not a good ending. That's not good. That's not good. At least that's a good bit of the ending, but that's kind of it. Alright, that's it. Bed we made. That was a good game. Not a great ending. But there are multiple endings. There are other things we could have done. If I had cleaned up all the stuff about their affair, and the police may not have ever found it. If I had basically hid all of the evidence, more or less. But not knowing where the story was going or anything like that, you can't really be on top of things. The game does give you a, hey, I hope you've done everything before you leave, because if you don't, yeah, I guess I wasn't appreciating just how hard they were going to come down on the fact that they were a homosexual couple. I guess was kind of the point of the story. Anyway, I'm debating about us revisiting this game and going for a better ending. I'd like to do an ending where they all get away with it and Bernard loses the hotel, if possible. We'll check the trophies here later to see what the actual potential endings are, but I do believe that, well, there is an ending where they all get away with it. Or you throw Paul under the bus or something like that. Or just throw one of them under the bus, something, that kind of thing. I guess it's just a question of whether you can fuck up Bernard getting to keep the hotel. Is there a way to get Bernard kicked out? Is there a way to get Bernard and Laura kicked out? It doesn't look like I managed to help Wendy keep her job. Whereas I did manage to help Eugene keep his job. So cleaning up the lipstick, I must have also have had to take the letter that was pasted to the doorway as well. Didn't do, I left that up. I figured there's nothing that was necessarily tying Wendy to the letter, but I guess the video game didn't see it that way. Anyway, I enjoyed it though, it was a very good game. Anyway, we'll take a look at the trophies here, because there are a few that are based around the ending. The multiple endings. Ubisoft? The Ubisoft thing? Gross. I feel dirty now. Didn't realize Ubisoft had anything to do with it. I suppose if it's made in Montreal, they're gonna be somewhat associated. French Montreal. Okay. We will revisit this at some point. I just don't know when. Okay, trophies. Don't clean the puddle by there. Okay. So there was a thing at the beginning when Andrew asked us, did you clean the puddle? Because we did. But I guess if you don't, he slips on his arse. You choose Andrew as your confidant. We didn't do that. You erased the lipstick message so no one was... Okay, I did re-erase the lipstick message, but there must have to be something else you do. Protect Wendy. Never came up. You didn't prevent Wendy from getting fired. Okay, this never came up. So I'm guessing maybe it comes up with Andrew? Andrew's path? Messed up while talking to Bernard, forcing your act. Okay, I kept my cool doing that. Eugene gets the boot, you didn't prevent. Okay, I did prevent Eugene. You opened the safe in 509 and made some interesting discovery. There's a safe in 509? Fuck. Okay, completely missed that. Thanks to your actions, no one was sent to prison. Okay, so there is a way to get nobody to go. Thanks to your actions, the real culprit ended up in prison. Let's say who necessarily that is. Guess you can just throw somebody under the bus. Anna Marcella get out. Paul gets out. Okay, there is a way to get Bernard to get out of the hospital. Okay, hospital. The hotel. Fuck's sake. Benjamin, you tampered with evidence, got caught, and okay, there's a way for you to go to prison too. Get Linda fired. Okay, but this requires Bernard to stay. I don't want to do. Get Wendy fired. Also keep Bernard. Okay. And all three of Wendy and Jacques' kissing spell. Okay, I did find them, but I never interacted with them, so I guess that doesn't count. Alright, there's a couple of different endings there. Most of them are who goes to prison, basically. And whether or not Bernard stays in the hotel, and then whether or not you stay in the hotel. You did not prevent Wendy from getting fired. I must have prevented it, because... Unless this is the opposite one? Wait to see the trophies I have. There's the puddle one. Choosing Beth. They're all story related. Okay, this must happen if I don't erase the lipstick message, or don't do it fully. They must have a showdown or something. Rebase. Money in the tip jar. We did that during this stream. That one. That one. All avoided prison. No deviants to blame for his failure. Bernard has to get the hotel back. Chose to stand up to Bernard and quit. Now you have no money and a lot of regrets. It's a problem, alright. All's well that ends well. You finished the game. You found all three. Okay. Nothing about helping Wendy keep her job, but it must be the equivalent of whatever the outcome of these two. It seems like it never happened. Maybe I just never saw the... I don't know. I missed the event, I think. What happened there? Anyway. Yeah, I think we will revisit it later on. Not right away. I'll give a little bit of distance between it so I don't quite remember absolutely everything about it. But we'll revisit it at some point. Tomorrow, I'm not entirely sure what we're going to stream. We are going to stream something. I just don't know yet. I was hoping Indica will be released today on PlayStation, but it hasn't been. As far as since I've checked, anyway, it hasn't been. It was meant to come out. It's already out on PC, but it was meant to come out on PlayStation and Xbox this week. I haven't seen it yet on the store, so possibly it'll show up later on. I doubt it. It's pretty late in the day for it to be happening now, so I would imagine it's been delayed. Otherwise, we'll take a look at Crow Country as maybe as a one shot, or I might roll it into a full Let's Play. I don't know. Depends how I feel about it at the time. I did like the demo, but it was a bit clunky. So we'll take another full look at it, or not another look, a look at it. I haven't put it on the channel before, so we'll take a look at that. Or possibly 1,000 times Resist, 1000x Resist. I haven't decided yet which of those games. I'm leaning mostly towards Crow Country, so it will probably be that. Friday and Saturday, Final Fantasy IV. Potentially we'll finish it on Saturday. There's definitely enough left in it that we won't finish it on Friday. And then it's really a question of how much cleanup needs to be done before we finish the game on Saturday. That might end up having it roll into next week instead. Sunday, then we'll have the weekly news recap that we have every week. We talk about the video games industry. We'll have a lot to talk about. Microsoft laying off, closing Tango Gameworks and Arcane Austin, which is an absolute terrible fucking decision that they made. Never mind that they're ruining, upheaving those people's lives, but we're losing a lot of really good developers. We've lost a lot of really good game series from that. But it's also pretty much torpedoed Microsoft in terms of interesting games. So what the fuck have they got now? That's a very, very short-sighted maneuver that they've just made. They're really banking on Bethesda coming through, Fallout, Skyrim 6, or Elder Scrolls 6. And they're very long way off, so unless they're expecting Senua's Sacrifice to do megabucks, and it's not going to. That's a niche game if there was ever a niche game. I don't know what I don't know where they're expecting to make their money. They're really hoping Call of Duty just makes old Call of Duty numbers, and it hasn't been doing that for a lot of years. So anyway, we'll have more to talk about that on Sunday. Anyway, if you want to catch up on the previous stream of This Bed We Made, or any other Foley Fables, which are usually strong story-focused games that may not necessarily have very strong gameplay, you can find them over on the YouTube channel, as well as all of my Let's Plays. That's where all the VODs are, youtube.com/@DoomTrain5. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can watch these live on Twitch, twitch.tv/DoomTrain5. Happy to have you on either channel. Leave a comment, or drop by the chat, or just like, follow, subscribe, whatever. All those things. Anyway, I'm gonna head off. Have a good rest of your evening, and hopefully see you tomorrow for probably Crow Country. Right. Bye bye.